All right, good morning. It's morning my time. It's around 8:18 in the morning here. Let's see here. Okay, purpose. People, I thought I'd just mention this because this was kind of getting me. Well, last night I was like, oh, what is purpose? What is purpose? All that stuff. People have been talking to me in other places, or I've seen it so much, and people understand, what's my purpose? What's my purpose for being here? Well, really put it simply, purpose is you existing, just being you. Now people probably wonder, but then, there's always a but, right? So, well, that's fine. Keep doing that. But I mean, like, it's to me, it's become so simple because I've had to get to this point. Keep in mind, I've had to get to this point where I, I don't know, I just stopped looking for it. It's not because I stopped looking for it. It just started to realize that, I do have the divine power within to not necessarily find it, but to let it come to me because I was focusing more on healing and being in the moment and just finding things to be grateful for, or rather looking for things to be grateful for. So that's not even the word for that. Um, but it's that. So welcome to my channel. To those who are new to my channel, my name is Jose. I do many things, including astrology, specifically microastrology, working with asteroids, um, and also music. I'm an instrumental musician. I like classical stuff like that. Um, and languages. I love languages. I used to also be in a swim team, but anyways, so there you go. So topic I wanted to talk about today is this whole thing about purpose. What is purpose, right? And for me, in my journey, had to look into my own heart. Um, there's this line that's, when you're kind of making a decision, you're wondering, where do I go from here, right? I keep remembering this line from one of my favorite movies called Under the Tuscan Sun. There's a line in there. It says, was it Patty was the best friend of Francis? She goes, so there comes a time when you come across an empty road, an empty shell, and you're at a crossroads. And then Francis goes, "Ugh, crossroad. That's so Oprah." This comes a time, and Patty says again, there's comes a time when you have to make a decision whether to turn right or left. This is no time to be a chicken shit, Francis. So that's the line. So why I'm saying that is because sometimes you need external motivation. It's probably most likely it's both, right? But I think it starts with internal motivation. That's my experience. So sometimes people, I was looking at this video that popped up on Facebook and said it's a coping mechanism why sometimes we don't move, we don't do things, and we're just waiting. That's another type of coping mechanism, right? Or someone to save me, that kind of conditioning, or I wish I had the whole regret thing. Whatever it is you go through, you learn from that, and then you start to say, "Oh, I'm tired of it." Then you probably start wondering, well, what do I do? Well, for me, my experience is going from the heart. And probably you've heard of the term passion, okay? And rather from Bashar's word, excitement, your highest excitement. But he also said that excitement isn't always that feeling of that up and down sort of being like, yay, jumping for joy kind of thing. It's not always like that. Sometimes though, you just need a nudge. So take it baby steps, right? So the point of this whole thing is that it isn't about going from starting to the end because we have that mentality, that linear perspective. It's like has to we start from the end. This is why we get bored. We think that there's no such thing as eternal. We don't believe in our infinite divinity. We really don't believe in it. The people were probably going to ask, well, how do you believe in that? Well, how do you believe? Right. So we live in this world today where we're taught to be like robotic. So go back to your intuition, your instincts. Go back to that. Suffer, go through suffering, not knowing. Go through not knowing. Go and go within. Go within. Go within. Go within. Okay. I'm going to mention. I'm going to create another video doing that whole thing. But how it's tying into how this ties into astrology is actually I'm going to show it through your charts. For those people who already work on their starts, have already started with astrology, great, awesome. If you haven't, it's also great. That means you have a lesson to learn. It's totally fine. I'm going to share with you the screen as usual, of course. Okay. So one of the things I found when it comes to purpose is you look for your, oh, it's kind of frozen. Let's see. Okay, there you go. Okay. So if you go, I'll show you my chart. Simple version of the chart. Okay. You'll see there's a trine aspect to my North Node to Neptune. So if you figure out what Neptune is, that's where it sits. So for me, it's about things that are fun with languages, foreign things, music as well, being creative, but in a spiritual way, right? Having idealism or whatever, those kind of things, but not to push it beyond illusions and delusions, but also working with that, working with fantasy, mysticism, those kind of things. That's exactly what it is. There's more to this than meets the eye, actually. There's actually a bunch of other asteroids here too. So someone may ask, well, what if I don't have a trine to my north node? By the way, north node is this thing that looks like a T, the one that looks like a hair thing, like the thing. Kind of looks like Leo, actually. It's funny how they're both kind of very similar to each other. Um, and so that's the north node. The opposite is the south node. You'll see, oh, you don't, yeah, right there. So it's kind of upside down. Looks like a penis. Um, penis that looks up, penis that looks down like this. Okay, so if you want to look at it that way. Um, so it's trine. Trine aspects are like about 60 degrees from each, no, 100, degrees from each other. Okay. Give or take a few degrees. And that few degrees means that it's a difference in orb. So right here, 17 degrees north node in Leo. You can see that little blue dot, blue line right there. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. Oh, so I'm going to go to this page. I'll show you. Okay. 17 degrees. If you look at, if you calculate it, 12, right, 120 or 120 degrees, you go 3, 6, 9, 12, or rather 30, 60, 90, 120. To get there, you follow the rule of the degrees. So you go, what is this one? So 17 to 17, which is weird because here we have 17 to 17. This is a semi-sextile, I believe. Um, yeah, it's 30 degrees. I think that's semi-sextile. I forgot. It's a minor aspect. Don't worry about that. Aspects are important in astrology because they help us show how parts of the chart work together. Don't worry. The point is that it's just they're called aspects and it's just a way to connect the planets. That's all it is. Um, okay. So you have North Node to Venus right here. That's 30 degrees already. So when I say follow the degrees earlier, I mean like within every, there are 30 degrees. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 30. Okay. The captions are probably not showing this one because I spoke too fast. So that's 30 degrees within each sign, zodiac signs. So you follow that through the signs and you go this one, North Node to Venus, that's 30 degrees. 17 to 17 is full 30 degrees. Next, you go, that's 30. To go to another 30, which will to make it 60. So close to this right here. So 17 degrees. You can see where that pointy thingy is. Okay. 17 degrees, that's 60. 17 degrees Libra here. That's 60 degrees. Then you go to another 30 degrees, which makes it 90, close to this 19-degree mark right here, so 17. So 3, 30, 60, 90, and then next one is 120. So it's very close. That's why you see the trine there. So the orb difference here is just by 20, by 3 degrees. So 3-degree difference. How did I get that? 20 minus 17. Because this is Neptune here is not 17 degrees. Does that make sense? Okay, so 3, 6, 9, 12. That's it. You just have to do a little bit of math there. Okay. You just gotta work through it. I know some people who are just like, I get confused with the math, but there's a reaction right away. Let not that reaction be a cause for you to stop something that you actually find very interesting, right? Math isn't math isn't a problem, it's our perception. Problems outside of ourselves aren't a problem, it's our perception. Right? We have to learn how to work with those perceptions by surrendering to the fact that they just exist and that we have stories in our head. Okay, this all ties in. Okay, the health, the healing, all that stuff, the mindset change. Um, and I'm going to add here also the feel set, call it feel set. This will also change. Okay, these things are you have to make the choice whether to change it or not and work with it. We cannot surrender to just the unconscious mind of like, I'm just gonna react, I'm just gonna react. I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat. I'm angry, I'm gonna get mad. I'm angry, I'm gonna kill someone. I'm it's always reactive, 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 reactive. Right. So I'm just saying that because I think it's very, very important. Now we have to make a choice. Right. You do have a choice. If you choose to still react, nobody's judging you. The only person judging yourself is yourself. So tying this to the astrology stuff, you want purpose in your life. This is not really about purpose. When you're looking at the North Node, it's not your purpose. It's part of the things that you might do or how your mission goes about or how your path, what lies ahead. It's not really about the what, it's more like the how. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're doing this stuff. So it is anything that's trying to the North Node will show you. Now, this will probably go one in one ear, not the other. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who do that because of how we are, we've been conditioned for our whole life. But that's not for us to look in, that's not for us to focus on anymore. It's not going to be, shouldn't be something that's like, oh, it's society that's, that conditioned us. Okay, so blame, 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 blame. Again, another reaction thing. Okay. There'll come a time when you just get tired of that. It's like, no, take back your power, take back your power, and just say, don't give it away, don't give it away. Right? Be in the present moment. And it takes practice. I'm going to make another video about that one. But one thing I wanted to add here, I'm actually going to open it up here, is what might help is I'm going to show you, what is this one here? A list that I created for myself that will show you can use these asteroids. I'm going to share it with you. It's just asteroids I listed so that because there's a limit of 30 asteroids per chart. Now keep in mind that as I share this, when you look it up, you want to, I'm just going to show you. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, share the screen again. Right here. Okay. So this is the list. Okay. You can probably see there's a lot, right? So the reason they're separated like that again because there's 30 asteroids in one list in one area here. Okay. And that's what will fit in astro.com when you draw up your chart. And again, just to make this clear, as you're listening, when you input these numbers in there, you'll see that it fits, and you might be able to see what planets, or in this case, asteroids, and some dwarf planets, trine the north node. Whatever your north node is, that's what's going to trine it. That's what's going to help you flow, right? Keep in mind that when it comes to trine aspects, just because they flow does not mean that you do not encounter challenges. You will, and that's for you to wake up. In fact, there's another aspect called a square aspect, which I find is very, very beautiful because it keeps you awake. Because if we refuse to learn lessons, we're going to be unconscious pretty much all the time. And we're going to be surrendering our power all the time. Right. So that's what it is. We're here to have fun. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to expand. That's why we're fragmented. I keep going on and on. I don't want to go too much into a tangent, but here's a list. I'm going to share this on the screen. There's two here that are not necessarily planets. This is these ones right here. H13, H58, and that's to do with Lilith. And these two are not asteroids. These are just invisible bodies, but would still work, right? Either way, they're still tied to. If these are trying to your north node, or one of them is trying to your north node, or two of them, doesn't matter. That's what's going to determine the flow of your path, how you should work on it. Not really what to do, but how it's going to appear. I'm going to share the screen here. I'm going to change it back to that page right here. Okay. So we're going to go back here. So I'm going to give you an example of how to work with this. Let's say I copy and pasted listing from the listing. Okay. Right there. You see that? 16 of them. You'll see what it looks like. The reason I'm scrolling up here instead of down to where it says show the chart is because as I'm doing this, the captions are blocking it. But okay, so you'll see how it looks. So ta-da! Okay, so I now have other asteroids tied to my North Node. And you can see Valentine is one of them. There's Valen, you see that on the left, on the right-hand side right there, beside Neptune right here. That's another, that's 17 degrees. Exactly, it's an exact, you can say it's a perfect aspect to the North Node. There's other stuff here included, but we're not going to go through that. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, and then what you do is once you find that Valentine or whatever asteroid or dwarf planet is trying to your north node or several of those, list it down, work on it bit by bit. And what will probably happen is, surprise, surprise, is that you will be starting to create your own little cheat sheet. Okay, cheat sheet. This is a wonderful thing. So let's say you didn't know who Valentine was. That's one. People might wonder, it's like, who's Valentine? Well, isn't that like Valentine's Day? Well, yeah. What you want to focus on is who the person was according to data. Okay. So let's go to Wikipedia. Say, at least let's go to Wikipedia. You can go to a movie if you want to. You can just stick with what you know about Valentine's Day. You think it's about love and all that stuff. But I like to go into details. Here it's about named a martyr named Valentine. So you click on Valentine. So Saint Valentine. You look him up. If you want to take notes on what resonates with you, you want to also go from experience. If it's trying to that and you feel like, oh, it's being kind of for me, what I feel is um try what I've noticed, what flows with my path or what I felt from my experience is that yes, I was, you can say here, martyred or made to be used. What is martyr, right? Made to be used or made to sacrifice or be something who believe in someone who believes in something, sorry, so much that they get persecuted for it, sacrifice, murder, whatever it is. For me, it came in many ways, but I wouldn't say it's the negative part because it is a trine, so it feels like a more positive feel to it. But at the same time, there can still be like sort of negative, meaning the lessons we learn from that. I was buried also. You see, body bird, I was buried also. That applies to me, meaning I was suppressed. Okay. Um, There's other things too. You look at their history, what they did, for those seeking love, right? So seeking love, yes, that applies to me, right? Seeking love right here. That applies to me. Okay, so as you do this, you can be taking notes as well. But here's the other thing. As you take notes, instead of taking notes just for Valentine's itself, make it part of your cheat sheet list and go, Valentine's, these are the things associated with Valentine. Then when you do a reading for someone, you'll see, oh, you're the person who seeks love. Maybe the person who feels buried or someone who feels like a martyr in their life. You see what I mean? So it does apply. Okay. So whatever you find with Valentine, you'll see here. Okay. Um, there's also other things too, like pardon me here. You have to trust also your instinct and your intuition. As you do this, you'll see. Okay. Um, they both buried. There were two of them. Or one of them was buried, or two of them was buried, were buried. So that's one. Suffered the same number of companions that are left. Okay. Sometimes when you get like nothing else is known about this person, right there, right there. Okay. Um, Refer to as a single person. See, this might still apply. A single person, meaning someone who remains single, so not married. Um, Whatever that means for you, single, not married, or single for a short time period of time, depends on your chart, depends on what's going on. So use these and see what applies to you because it's your story, but also take notes of what you feel will go with that. Because later on, you start to find it's like, oh, I missed that part about Valentine. Oh, I missed that part about this, that. Go back to your notes. That's why I create your cheat sheet. Go back to it and add that. Okay. And don't forget to save your cheat sheet. Okay. Save it as a PDF, save it as a Word file, save it as notes, save it to your email, Google Drive, whatever it is. Okay. So those kind of things. So that's that. So I'm going to send you a list of the asteroids and you can experiment what trines with anything that's trine to your North Node. When I say trine, it's not just one aspect. It could also be a trine to the other side of this. So when you have, let's say, what you call a grand trine, you'll have something that looks like a triangle. That will flow. Then you'll start to realize when you do your research on those specific asteroids, you'll see. Okay. When I say do research, I don't mean like extensive research. Just do what you can, do what resonates with you. Right. So there's a huge list here. It's like some people will be wondering, oh no, do I have to read all this stuff? Well, you have to do the research. When I say have to, I mean like you don't have to, but whatever is resonates with you for that moment. If you're really up to it, you'll go for it. Right. So sometimes the list on Wikipedia is not long. Sometimes the whole thing about that person or whoever that myth or legend was or story about that person was. Like there's an asteroid named after Octavia Butler, literally called Octavia, and it's actually conjunctly connected to my North Node. I'll show you actually. It's kind of funny. I ran into it one time. See Octavia right there. If I click on Octavia there, right? Octavia the Younger. Oh, okay, so that's different. Octavia the Younger. Um, there's another. Okay, Octavia Butler. There you go. Sorry, I missed that one right there. So either way, right? So it's Octavia Butler is conjunct my North Node, which actually I can show you. If I remove, this is already, can remove this one, and I'll show you Octavia Butler. You'll see it's conjunct my North Node. Just for fun, wanted to show you. See that? Conjunct my North Node on the left side right here. Okay. So anyway, that was just something. Um, sorry, it is early morning for me, so I've yet to have my cold shower. Just did my yoga and all that stuff. But thank you. So I'll add the list of my listings, my asteroid listings that I get on the comments below. And if you have any comments yourself, please please feel free to share them. And that's it. And like and subscribe. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day, evening, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. And my hair is kind of morning hair. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. Bye.